Okay, because Margaret has a gun. So without further ado, it's your boy Shawnee. I'm back with another American Horror Story review, episode True Killers. I believe this is episode 5 or 4. Either way, it was called True Killers. So y'all know, of course, I watch it every Wednesday when it airs, but I don't have time to do the review because your boy be at work, and I also got a promotion. So long story short, I'm not gonna be able to get the reviews out till like a day or two later because now your boy is a chef. Shout outs to me. But so let's get into this review. So we go back to, I guess a couple months or weeks or whatever before everything happens. And Montana is teaching her aerobics class. And, the Night Stalker comes in and I guess he wants to take the class or whatever. So she's teaching the class and then this gay guy gets upset because Montana won't play Cyndi Lauper and she's like, man, fuck you. And she keeps playing her song. They working, they doing it, doing the damn thing. So he gets mad and storm out. So then the Night Stalker follows him. I was like, oh man. So the Night Stalker kills this guy and hangs him over top of Montana's locker. So when the gym closes down and she goes in there, she's like, and at first I thought she was scared, but then she started smiling. I'm like, what? He's like, you like my little surprise? And she's looking at him like, so then her and Night Stalker have sex, fucking in the pool of blood from the guy. And I'm just like, um, American Horror Story for you. So we find out through Montana talking to the Night Stalker that she's actually the brother of the best man from Brooke's wedding. The wedding where Brooke's fiance fucking shot up everybody. Montana's brother was the best man that was rumored or claimed to have had sex with Brooke the night before her wedding. So Brooke convinces the Night Stalker to kill. Montana convinces the Night Stalker to kill Brooke because she's like, I lost my brother, the best thing that he was the best thing in my world, and why does that bitch get to live? So she basically believes that Brooke did fuck her brother. Now about, Brooke doing it, like I'm really not too sure. Like I kind of think that Brooke might be the only innocent character through this whole season where she didn't murder anybody, where she's not, trying to murder somebody, where she's not, she hasn't done something really fucked up. Emma Roberts is doing a good job at it. I really, really hope they keep Brooke as that, final trope girl because it'll make the season, the ending so much better because then we'll know not all the characters are fucked up because these characters are kind of fucked up. So now we get back to the present day at camp, and Montana is warning the Night Stalker. She like, my man, we need to get Brooke. We need to kill that bitch. We need to get fuck out of here. Mr. Jingles is running around, and he's like, word. He wants to face Jingles, so I guess we'll get more back on that later. So Mr. Jingles is, busy running around murdering people. And Xavier and Chet, there's Xavier, Chet, and Trevor. I finally found out what Mustache name is. Xavier, Chet, and Trevor are in the thing, and Xavier and Trevor are trying to save Chet. So Trevor takes one of them pins. It looks like one of the things that fake nurse Rita stuck Brooke with. So they stabbed that into him, and then at first they thought it didn't work, but then my man Chet came back to life, like bam. And I'm like, cool, cool. And I kind of like Chet. I'm glad he didn't die yet because it was fucked up that Ray left him inside the joint basically to die. And Chet seemed cool besides the steroids. He seemed like a cool character. Um, so, they bring him back to life, but I'm guessing some type of tranquilizer. So then, Xavier has an epiphany. He's like, oh shit, the guy who came here, he left his car. I mean, his car is still here. The keys are in there. That's our way out. That's our way out. So they're getting all excited, and that's how they're going to escape. So, but Trevor is like, oh, we got to go back and save Margaret, and Xavier wants to go back and save Chef Birdie. Now, this is what gets on my nerves. This is why I feel like Ray was important to the story. I guess because they're in the 80s and they're supposed to be living in that time, this is when, I guess people wouldn't know, but saving people is dead. If we know that there's a psycho killer, on the campus, we know, but they may not know the nice locals there, but we know that Jingles is there. The camp has already been closed down 15 years ago from somebody doing a mass massacre. Why are we even here, people? Saving people is a no-go. If you have a way out, you get there, you find whoever you can on your way, and you get the fuck out of there. All of this being Katniss Saberho is, nah, I'm sorry. If I was there, and I found that car, I would be the fuck out. I'm not waiting for nobody. I'm not, because that is how you get killed. Going back and trying to save people is exactly how you get killed in a horror movie. So anyway, Trevor goes back to find Margaret, and she's all like, he's like, Margaret, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And Margaret's weird ass is just like, watch your language. And I'm like, Margaret, everybody about to fucking die. What do you mean? Watch your language. Fuck that. Let's get out of here, man. So Margaret is like, I'm not closing the camp because I have a gun. And I'm just like, Margaret, really a gun? If Mr. Jingle slaughtered a whole camp of people and they didn't think to jump him, you think your little gun is supposed to save you? Like, I'm confused. I'm curious. But okay. Okay, Margaret. So he switches over to Xavier and he finds Chef Birdie in the cafeteria making bologna sandwiches and smoking her cigarette, jamming to her late night music. And she's like, the kitchen is closed unless you want the midnight snack. I'm like, you better get it, Chef Birdie. So anyway, Xavier is like, man, we got to get the fuck out of here. Don't you know what's going on? Jingles is running around, killing people. And Chef Birdie is just like, what is it about this place that makes everybody crazy? And I'm like, this is why you don't go back and save people. You going back and trying to save her, and she looking at you like you crazy. So she just laughing it off, and Xavier is like, bruh. So then Xavier hears Jingle's key, so he hides under the table. And then Jingles busts in, and Chef Birdie, she's scared, but she's trying to be all observed, and she's talking to him like, "Oh, hey Benji, I didn't know they let you out." And he's like, "They didn't." So then she's like, you look hungry. Let me sit down and make you a sandwich. So she remembered that Benjamin, aka Jingles, always liked peanut butter and jelly. So she's making him a sandwich and talking to him, and she's like, he's like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, well, Margaret decided to open up the camp, and I thought she was batshit crazy, but I wanted to be here for it. Which I feel like that conversation right there let us know that Chef Birdie was good people. She only came back to the camp in probably fear or fright that she might lose her life, but she came back, to help Margaret. She like, I don't want Margaret to be out here by herself. It's probably gonna be traumatic for her, So word up to Chef Birdie for coming up to support Margaret. So then, instead of just standing there and being quiet while Jingles is eating his sandwich, fucking dumbass Xavier drops his flesh. Like, I'm like, for that, if Jingles would have killed Xavier, I wouldn't have been mad because I'm like, you don't move until he is gone. Chef Birdie has him under control. It was obvious that he wasn't going to kill Chef Birdie. So why are you moving? Why are we making sounds? I hate these horror movies, people. So then, Jingles hears that, and he looks under the table and sees Xavier, and Xavier tries to run, but Jingles is like, "Bitch, I think the fuck not." Caught Xavier, snatched that motherfucker, and threw him under the table. Xavier is like, "Fuck you," and I respect Xavier. He trying to fight Jingles back. He like, but Jingles said, "Ma," pushes him to the side. So then Chef Birdie comes out of nowhere and hits Jingles in the head with a kitchen tool. But that didn't work. He takes her arm and throws Chef Birdie across the room. I was like, damn, poor Chef Birdie. Chef Birdie should have just ran out the room. So then, while Jingles is stabbing up Birdie, you can see it's Birdie because they didn't show her face, but you can see she was the one who had on the white, kitchen coat. So he busy stabbing up Birdie, and I'm just like, man, this is sad. And he put my man Xavier in the oven. Now, I have never seen no shit like that in a horror movie or 80s movie, nothing like that. Like, this is some, Texas Chainsaw. Not even Texas Chainsaw, that's some Saw shit. Fucking put somebody in the oven. Man, he had my man in there roasting. So then we switch over to Brooke, and Brooke is still stuck in this cabin that, uh, fake nurse Rita, aka Dinah, put her in that. Then she stabbed her with the tranquilizer and drug her off. So, she put her in this cabin. So Brooke is like, oh, bitch, I don't think so. She wakes up like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So first she's screaming for help, but that doesn't work. So then she tries to push the door open lightly. That didn't work. So Brooke was like, boom, pushed that joint right open, fell to the ground, got up like, started running through the woods. She was almost killed by this like trap thing where it was like wood with like kind of like nails hanging on it, which would have smacked her up in the head. But she missed that. But then she ends up getting caught in the net trap, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, why everybody trying to kill Brooke? Fuck out of here. So Donna, aka first fake nurse Rita, appears, and she's like, I knew you would go left. Typical something something trope. I'm like, man. So then she was like, even if you went the other way, you still would have got caught because I set traps everywhere. So it was obvious that, fake nurse Rita, aka Donna, is the one who set all the booby traps in the camp, like the pit that Ray and Chet fell into. Rita set those up so that she can catch either, people for her experiment or to catch Jingles at the end. So she's talking to Brooke, and Brooke is like, but why? And, Donna is like, well, I had to study him, in his natural habitat. It's not so much you can learn from, talking and research. You got to study them in habitat. She was like, the victims are always, females. So, Nurse Rita is like, since the victims is always females, you know, I had to use you. You like my lab rat. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Donna is a fucked up individual. So, she wants to know, if Mr. Jingles kills for the hell of it, or, does he kill when he gets prey sent to him? And she promises Brooke that she'll be remembered as a feminist hero, whatever that means. So then, we switch back over to Chef Birdie and Xavier, and Chef Birdie is still alive. She frees Xavier from, the oven, and then Xavier falls out. And then, Chef Birdie's all stabbed up bad because Jingles fucked her up. And, I guess he thought he killed her, but he didn't. So, she's pleading to, Xavier, Xavier's like, we gotta get out of here. And she's like, and she gets the knife and she's like, and he's like, I can't. And I feel bad for Xavier because I don't know if I'll be able to do that too. Like, I understand that you probably already dying and you just want to be put out your misery, but don't ask me to kill you, man. So Xavier, he did it because, she, you could tell she just wanted to die. So, he stabs the knife in her throat, and I mean, the knife in her, and then rest in peace, Chef Birdie. I wish we got to know more about Chef Birdie. I feel like it was whack how they just killed her off like that. So, anyway, we skip to Montana, and she's searching for Brooke, and then she finally finds her, and, she's laughing, and she has to put on her act like she's, sad and looking for her. So then, she's trying to act like she's getting her out and blah, blah, blah. But then she's like, I'm gonna find something to cut you out. And then, but she's like, but I shouldn't leave you. Brooke was like, it's okay. And Montana was like, you're so brave. And Brooke was like, I just want it to be over. And Montana was like, it will be, I promise. And I'm just like, poor Brooke, poor Brooke. So meanwhile, Margaret is in her cabin loading her gun, and she finds this wooden beer, and we get a flashback to 1970. So it was revealed that when Margaret was a camp counselor, all the other counselors used to make fun of her and Jingles. They would call them freaks, and just torment them or whatever. And more so Margaret. So Jingles was making her like this bear, and Margaret is like for me, and then Jingles cuts himself. And then Margaret is sucking on his blood, and I'm just like, Margaret, what the fuck? Like, obviously, Margaret was always some weird type chick. Like, I don't know how she got hired as a camp counselor, but Margaret is fucking weird. So she sucks his blood, and then she's like, "Are you going to protect me?" And he's like, "I'll do anything to protect you." And I'm just like, "That's cute." So it was obviously obvious that Jingles, had a crush on Margaret. I don't know if Margaret ever liked Jingles. It seemed like she was just going to use him from the beginning, but Jingles really did like Margaret. So we get back to the Night Stalker, and he's in the middle of, the goddamn woods doing the ritual, trying to find Brooke. And Montana pops up like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Getting instructions from the master." And Montana was like, "Well, your prayers have been answered." So he leads, Montana leads the Night Stalker to Brooke. So, before the Night Stalker can kill Brooke, Mr. Jingles appear like, ah. So then the Night Stalker is like, "You really shouldn't have crashed this party, the infamous Mr. Night Stalker, blah, blah, blah." So then, Mr. Jingles and the Night Stalker start, stabbing each other up. They facing off. Ah, ah, slice, slice, ah. I'm like, damn. It was really reminding me of Freddy versus Jason. Like, I feel like that movie is really underrated and a lot of people didn't really appreciate it, but you do have to, if you ever get a chance, go back and rewatch that fight scene between Freddy and Jason. It was actually pretty cool. So that's what that was kind of reminding me of. So even though that wasn't really an 80s movie, that was early 2000s because I remember Kelly Rowland was in that. But anyway, meanwhile, Montana sneaks up behind, Fig Rita, aka, Donna, and it's like, "I don't know who you are, bitch." But da 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 da. So then they start fighting. It was like, ah, ah. I'm like, oh, get it, get it. So Donna and, Montana getting it in. The Night Stalker and Jingles is fighting. Brooke is like, "Bitch, I'm trying to get out of here." Like, that whole scene was crazy. Like, I appreciate how they edited that because it's like you got three different things going on. You got the Night Stalker and Jingles slicing each other up, trying to kill each other. You got Brooke just trying to get the fuck out of there, and then you got Montana fighting, fake Nurse Rita, aka Donna. That shit was crazy. So Montana and Donna, are still fighting Jingles, and the Night Stalker still slicing each other up. But then Montana finally knocks Donna out cold. And then, while Jingles finally gets a hold of the Night Stalker and kills him, Brooke is like, "Bitch, I'm out of here." So Brooke frees herself. And I was like, God, I was like, good. I hope they didn't kill Brooke yet. Because I'm like, damn, I'm like, my girl Brooke was just trying to get away from being killed and ended up being lured to be killed. Like, that's fucked up. So, she frees herself. Jingles kills the Night Stalker. And then we flip back to Margaret. And Margaret is praying to God, like, "What should I do? I've given my life to you." And I'm just like, is Margaret sure she's in touch with, the most high up, no matter what religion you are, no matter what spiritual practices you may practice, there's only, one true creator, one true deity, and I'm just like, is Margaret sure that's who she burned to? Because Margaret what? So, she's like, what should you do? And then Jingles appears. And Margaret is like, well, what are you doing here? And Jingles is like, I've come to finish what I started. So then, Margaret is like, what you started? So then we get another flashback to 1970, and Jingles is proclaiming his innocence. But then, the police pull out the box with all the cut ears off in it. So, he like, oh shit. So then he got sent to a mental institution, where he's still like, it wasn't me. I didn't touch the kids. And he meets he meets Hafu. Remember Hafu he killed in the second episode? The psychiatrist from the place, from the mental institution. So, she's there and she's like, you may not know what you are, but I do. Then they give him electric shock therapy, they drug him up, and I'm like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. So then Margaret finally tells Jingles, that he's forgotten everything, and that he wasn't really the killer and it was her. And, she became the killer because, Jingles was supposed to protect her. He was supposed to stop her from being bullied, but it never stopped, so she felt like he was weak. I'm like, damn. So Margaret was bullied and harassed by the other counselors, and she catches them smoking and drinking and making fun of her. So she fucking just starts killing them all. And then she cut off their ears and then she put them inside the box and framed Jingles. And then she used his war stories, as a cover. I'm like, that's fucked up. So, Jingles is finally understanding what happened and how he got framed and what happened to him and blah, blah, blah. So then he's like, man, Margaret, fuck you. And he goes in for the kill, but Margaret is like, not today, bitch. Pow, pow. She shoots Jingles down. So then we switch over back to Montana, and she runs into Trevor and Chet, and my Trevor is like Trevor's like to Montana, he's like, take Chet, y'all go to the car. I want to go back and get Margaret. Y'all heard them gunshots. I'm like, here we go again, trying to go save Margaret. So then Trevor returns for Margaret, and he excited. He like, you killed Jingles, and she's like, I killed him right after he killed you, and Trevor's like, what? And then she straight up killed my man Trevor. I'm like, damn. So then we get to Xavier and he runs into Brooke and they find, he runs into Brooke and, and they find Margaret and Chet, and they all standing by the car and that shit is on fire. And Margaret is like, it was so crazy. Jingles attacked me and, he set the car on fire. And I'm just like, so Margaret, you survived an attack for Jingles and he also had time to set the car on fire. So I'm just like, is nobody saying that Margaret is obviously batshit crazy? Like, man, but anyway, that ended the episode. I feel like this episode was pretty good. We got, more backstory. We finally figured out, why the Night Stalker was so hell bent on killing Brooke. We found out it's because of Montana. I'm sorry I probably rushed through this, but your boy is tired. I do overnight now, and I just wanted to take a nap, but I wanted to get this review out. I did enjoy this episode. I can't wait for the next one. I hope we find out more, about Montana's brother and more about Brooke and her fiance and the wedding and stuff. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Leave a comment, like, share, you know what to do.